Good afternoon. I'm Jared Lasky of Destiny Church, right here in the Virginia Beach area. The last few weeks we've been talking about finding your way back to God. It's been based on this book by Dave and Jon Ferguson, and the text we've been using has been Luke chapter 15. And through this, we've been talking about how each and every one of us can identify with the prodigal son in one way or another. But oftentimes, there's this often misunderstood or misstudied son in the parable, because there were two sons. In Luke chapter 15, verse 11, it says, "Then he," this is Jesus, "said, a certain man had two sons, and the younger of them said to his father, 'Father, give me the portion of goods that falls to me.' So he divided to them his livelihood." Now, who's them? Well, the father gave the inheritance to the younger son who was asking for it. And again, through the series, we've learned that this was a slap in the face of the father in that culture. But yet, we see that this other son also participated in that. So we might be able to identify with the younger son, the prodigal son, in one way or another. But I think we could also identify with the older brother, because later in verse 25, after we see the younger son return home and the father embraces him, loves him, which is a picture of our loving, heavenly, and grace-filled Father who will never deny us, we see this in verse 25. "Now, as his older son was in the field, and as he came and drew near to the house, he heard music and dancing. So he called one of the servants and asked what these things meant. And he said to him, 'Your brother is come, and because he's received him safe and sound, your father has killed the fatted calf.'" So they're throwing a party for the younger son. "But he was angry and would not go in. Therefore his father came out and pleaded with him. So he answered and said to his father, 'Lo, these many years I've been serving you. I never transgressed your commandment in any time, and yet you never gave me a young goat that I might make merry with my friends. But as soon as this son of yours came, who has devoured your livelihood with harlots, you killed the fatted calf for him.' And he," the father, "said to him, 'Son, you are always with me, and all that I have is yours. It was right that we should make merry and be glad, for your brother was dead and is alive again, and was lost and is found.'" So here's this son who said that he's never transgressed against the father, yet he willingly participated in the distribution of the inheritance, an early inheritance. And even though the son was living in the same house, the oldest son was living in the same house as the father, he was self-righteous and perhaps even religious. And he did not even appreciate the younger son returning home at first. But the father had to lovingly correct him and say, "This son, your brother, was lost and is found." And maybe some of us might not be able to identify completely with the prodigal son, but maybe we have a self-righteousness about us or a religiosity about us, which is also wrongdoing, which is also something that we need to work on. So perhaps God is not only calling prodigals home, but he's also calling those who are already within his house to return to a closer fellowship and intimacy with him. We're going to talk more about this, finding your way back to God, using the text from Luke chapter 15 on this Sunday at 11 a.m. at the Barry Robinson Theater and Fine Arts Center. And its address is at 4552 Princess Anne Road in Virginia Beach. And you're invited, your whole family's invited. And also October 29th, we have a fall festival from 2 to 5 p.m. in the parking lot at the Barry Robinson Theater and Fine Arts Center. Check out our webpage, www.destinychurchvb.com, and we'll see you on Sunday. May you be blessed in Jesus' name.